Hello, Summoners and Summonettes. Welcome back to the 2015 Spring Promotion Tournament and Game 4 between SK Gaming Prime and Gambit Gaming. This match is actually match point now for Gambit. They're up 2-1 in the best of 5. They win the next game back in the LCS.
Yeah, and you can't talk about Gambit's victories without talking about Diamond. He went 6-1-10 in that last game, playing the Kazakhs, which was banned away and then picked away from him in Game 2. He finally got on that, and he went with a more tanky build after just one and then getting the Malmortis.
Right. And it worked so well for him. I mean, he was up there. He made all the plays. He did great for himself. And again, where Diamond goes, Gambit seems to follow, so look for him again in Game 4 here. Kickus, though, against him in the jungle. The AP Fizz did not work nearly as well. Now, the interesting thing is, in Game 1, his AD Fizz was still 50% physical, 50% magic against champions. So he still had some magic damage threat, which I think was why he went for AP, because he had like that Talon mid, etc. But not a great performance here in Game 3.
No, not at all. He had very low contribution to the fights. He was dying very quickly, and he actually just frankly wasn't showing up and having the same impact Diamond was. He was actually the lowest damage dealing champion in the game behind Thresh and Braum, the supports. Right. He did nothing that fight as a jungler. He showed up maybe once in the early game, mid, took advantage of a flash on Chrysland, and that was it. Yeah,
and it hurts me a little bit to see like that sort of failed there, because I like seeing the new stuff come out. I like seeing the jungle Fizz. Obviously, it did work in Game 1, but
there is something to be said about all of this, though, because we had Dominated on the desk talking about comfort, which I completely agree with. Is that you should be selecting your comfort champions. Like, know the meta, know the things that you want banned against you, so that they're typical bans. Like, if somebody doesn't have to ban Alistar against you, then you're in a big problem area, because then you have to red side ban it in your blue side ban it in your liability.
Right.
But know those things. Then focus on your comfort champions, because then people might ban that away from you at the same time. So I think that he needs to go on something like Jarvan, because I believe you talked to him, and they're like, we haven't even played with Fizz. I played in solo queue. They haven't scrimmed with it. They haven't really played it in ranked 5s or anything. Nope. So they need comfort champions, something that they are used to here. If SKP are going to take this match in the Game 4 seriously, they need to bring it and play the SKP style to get back on top. We want to see that bullying. We want to see that capitalization from them if they're going to hold up to Gambit, or if Gambit is going to make themselves be back in the LCS.
Right. Well, SK Prime saying, you know what? All this tunneling of the hyper carries is not our style. Tristana actually banned away. This means, though, that Nick is going to get something he likes here. The Kazakhs away from Diamond, so Yasuo and Zed now up for him.
It's going to be one or the other. They ban away the Nidalee, and there's both on the field now.
Interesting. So, of course, Maokai's still up. We didn't ever have any more jungler bans than just these two. We've never had much contested in the bot lane, and it's going to be Zed now for Smitty J. So, or probably WattFox himself, maybe Kickus, who knows, but...
It's going to be for WattFox here. WattFox, he actually hasn't gotten his hands on Zed during all of the playoffs or all of the regular season. But Zed, he got buffed, and it's actually his most played in solo queue right behind LeBlanc. And that was even before Zed got popular.
Right. So I'm expecting good things then from WattFox there.
Yeah, he loves those assassins.
Right.
Like LeBlanc, Zed, he's all over that stuff. Yasuo, we saw him go with the Talon. He's like, I want to get close to that, and now he's on the Zed.
Right, but this is the weird thing, though, right? Is think back to all the picks and bans before this one, where they were like, oh, shoot, they played Zed. Okay, we'll ban Zed and give them Kazakhs instead. But, like, if you play this much Zed, why were you banning it in the first place? Like, why were you denying this when it's your own champion's pick? Or, like, your mid laner's second most played champion. Talk about comfort picks here, right? So, Maokai is going to go over to Gambit. They still want that Thresh for Edward. And now we got to see what the SK Prime adaptation is.
Gambit are setting themselves up for a lot of options here. They could go with a Yasuo, and they have multiple knockups to set them up already, as well as make it a little bit more durable and have escape options.
Yeah.
This is really looking to be a well-rounded Yasuo comp just out the first 2 picks they locked in.
Well, Nami comes through, so does the Lucian, so a great bot lane there for SK Prime. And this was kind of the old style. You said go back to the old style. They're playing lane bullies here on Z's. He's back on one of these here himself. WattFox playing one of his most 2-played champions, that Zed mid, so SKP could be exactly where they want to be.
Okay, I freaking love it, because Chrysland, he's like hovering over the Teemo, and nobody's clapping. Then he hovers over the Poppy, he's like, goes back to Teemo. And then he hovers over the Heimerdinger, and people are like, yeah! So apparently there's diminishing returns in a best of 5.
Yeah.
You hover over Teemo.
You've got to get through the rest of the Yordles and cycle all the way through till you can go back to square one here. So by the way, Diamond is actually... Yeah, Diamond's going to be playing some jungle Gragas here. I thought it might have been Edward for a second, but he's already got Thresh. So Gragas jungle with the Yasuo mid. We saw that yesterday from Airwalks.
Yeah, the Copenhagen Wolves whipped that out and had a fantastic showing with that. Nick, once again, picking Yasuo. He already swapped his summoner spell to Exhaust. There's a huge debate out there between what's the best summoner spell on Yasuo, and I think it's split like 70-30 or 60-40 on whether or not it should be Exhaust. I do think it's Exhaust. I think that's the right one for him.
Because chasing is hard for him. He can't jump to the same target twice, so it allows him to stick in range for his sort of high DPS, basically. We now need the jungler, and is it going to be? No, Nocturne here for SK Prime. So again, pretty assassin focused there. It's going to be Kikis and What2Fox together trying to reach the back line, but they don't even know what the back line is. It's mostly melee here for Gambit.
Yeah, they're all just going to be up in your face. Now they have something to protect.
So it's still a shorter ranged AD carry. At least Corki does have an escape tool, but Gambit kind of have only one way to go. It's forward in fights, and it's short ranged, high damage.
Yeah, and at the same time, SKP kind of have the same MO here. A lot of their champions are go.
Yeah.
Nocturne is just go.
Yeah.
That's literally his ultimate is just go. Shouldn't be even called Paranoia, it's called go. But at the same time, they have Ryze, who's going to be trying to TP in, trying to rush in with his movement speed. They do have some disengage options for themselves, but both these teams are going to be clashing. It's going to be another high brawly game here between these two comps.
Yeah, and I do want to see how this Zed versus Yasuo matches actually pans out there. What2Fox on Zed should be pretty good. If they can get him on a champion he actually excels with. His Orianna was awesome in game 1 and immediately pulled bans afterwards. Gotta respect that, sure, of course. Was that actually game 1? Am I like forgetting something?
I don't know.
Or was it banned away? We've seen so many good Oriannas already that I've forgotten now who's done what, but he's been great overall. I know that for sure. That one yeah, it was Orianna, because they last picked it when the Fizz went into the jungle. So yeah, his Orianna was great in game 1. Maybe back on a cover pick now with Zed, because so far it hadn't been working on the Syndra and everything else. So we'll see how that one pans out. Of course, you have the makings of good comps on both sides. SKP, good lanes, decent scaling there as well. I think they will not get outscaled here. The problem is, though, you've got so much Yasuo set up. Thresh, Maokai, and Gragas there to make his life easy.
Yeah, and this matchup in the mid lane between Zed and Yasuo is actually a skill matchup, but Zed has a little more tools available to him. He has an easier way of getting out. He has an easier way of closing the distance. You know, much more on-demand and skill-based on him.
True.
Whereas Yasuo, you need minions to get out. If you go too forward, you're punished. So it's a little bit in favor of Zed, but Yasuo can take it with some help.
Got to see as well what kind of ganks come out here, because for Diamond, I'm thinking back to the Airwalks jungle Gragas game, and he ganked it around level 3, forced the flash of the enemy mid laner. Showed back up around level 4 with a body slam flash, but that was when his mid laner was 6 on Yasuo, and they got the kill.
But at the same time, do you think he'd be blowing his flash if he has shadows to get out?
As long as he, I mean, that's true, right? Like, yeah. There's certainly possibilities here, but the point still stands that, like, basically Gragas does not need 6 to have his kind of, like, optimal gank setup. Just a knockup of any kind is going to work for him, and then Nick's going to be happy. Kikis, though, kind of has to be a level 6 Nocturne to really be Nocturne.
Oh. Put it deep. Get some vision.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
All right, so similar wards top lane. Both watching late invades. SK Prime also watching the other jungle exit on the northern side. Gambit doing the same. Gambit are going for this mid lane invade, and they will reveal if it's going to be a red start now for SKP. All right, no late invades available. All of the entrances are trinketed on the SKP side.
Minions have spawned.
And some very similar things for Gambit.
No more crazy level 1s in this game. It's actually a flask start for Kuban in the top. He knows he's going to be taking harassment from Smitty J, and it's not actually going to be a 2-on-1 lane swap.
All right, so we will match up the lanes here. I want to see how this pans out, because both are good duos. They're both very strong laning combinations. Only hits Zaitan. Good dodge by Z's. The lane begins. Looks like the early push will go SK Prime's way. Diamond gets the pretty secure blue buff start. He burned his smite early, knowing there was no invade. Kikis takes his now. looks like Carissa's actually the first one to take some harass here.
This is going to be one of the first times we've seen this bot lane go up against each other. It's going to be Edward synergizing with a new AD carry in Chrisland, who's a little more aggressive than what he's typically used to.
Wow.
It might help him out.
WTF playing very aggressive on Nick, though. Takes a little bit of caster damage, but not very much. And deals some meaningful damage to the Yasuo he's against.
Oh, level 2 is going to come out here for SKP.
And Zaitan far forward lands the bubble. Good play by Edward. And the jump in by Z's means some pretty decent damage. SKP's dual lane doing great so far.
Surprised Edward was so far up still, despite knowing that that creep was going to go down for the level 2.
You're right. He did get the flay at least to stop some of the damage off to the bubble, but nice knock up there by Nick and dashes right back out.
It just goes back and forth there. There are more potions in favor of WTF because he started Longsword 3.
And breaks the passive shield with a Q. Nick now out of pots. Only about 700 health right now. Pretty much going to be equal CS on these mid laners. Top lane also going close to equal. Bot lane, again, slight lead SK Prime.
WTF trying to bully this Yasuo out. Trying to bully Nick and stop him because he's going to be the linchpin of this strategy here. The comp is focused around him. You can bet that there will be some jungle ganks around this mid lane, considering both these players' styles, both these jungler styles, and who they're up against too.
Oh yeah.
Mid lane focused matchup.
Oh, Diamond barely gets spotted. Now they know he's southern side of the map. Goes by a trinket ward as well. Okay, so eyes on Gambit, no eyes on Gigas. Nice dodge on the hook. Bubble not going to hit either. Good dodge by Chrisland as well. And actually, 4 extra minions there available for SKP to kill. Again, so far so good. The heal's still coming out. So even though both teams are out of health potions, the mana pool for Zaitan, both AD carries I should say, out of health potions. Zaitan can put the health pools even higher. Good phosphorus bomb though.
And just poke back and forth in this bot lane. They're trying to find a place where it will give, and Diamond coming from behind. He hasn't been seen. This is a...
But will the kill happen? There is an ignite onto Eddie.
Looking for the hook.
He'll get the flay on Zaitan, the flash body slam, but not much else gained. There's a hook on a Zaitan. No other CC is there. Bubble on a Diamond. Not too much picked up. 2 flashes, though, lost for Diamond's flash.
And since it's a jungler's flash, it's definitely a little more worth. Because when you're a laner, you always have pressure on you, and you never know when you're going to have to use your flash. As a jungler, people will find you in your jungle, and you'll just have to body slam away. Get away. You have tools to escape very easily.
And I think it'd be good for Edward and Chrisland to actually go for a little bit of an early recall just to get their mana pools back up and immediately start bowling the flashless bottom. Oh my god, that hook on Aziz though. He burns his heal. He's got no flash though. Just kidding. That's enough for the kill. Chrisland, nicely done. What a hook by Edward.
The Thresh Prince is in.
Yep.
The fact that they were able to first pick that for him last game and they still got it for him this game. He's coming up really big on that champion. Very comfortable on the support if we're talking about comfort picks.
And there we go. Phage in there for Chrisland. Potions as well. And the early movie boots for Edward off those kills.
Right up by the hitboxes.
What a shot. And a flash. That was nice.
Beautiful play there. Get themselves that bot lane dominance. Now the gank up top onto Kuban. They're trying to dive him.
A lot of damage being dealt. It's Smitty who had the aggro. They forced the flash out of Kuban. That's perfect. They didn't lose anything for that.
They zone him out. They get his flash. At the same time, they give away that he's top, but Diamond's not going to be able to take advantage of this because he has no mana and he has nowhere to push.
Oh, wow. They can't expect Edward to be here. They can't expect him behind. This is not good for Z's. Can he predict the jump? Oh, he can't.
That was almost really awesome, too, because he looked one way and threw the hook the other, so.
I think he was hoping Z's would not
go through
dash.
him.
Yeah. He was hoping, he's like, you're not going to dash, but Mad Life you. And he's like, bring it. And then he dashed. Bunny Fufu would have predicted him. Nah, Edward's amazing. Let's be real here. All right, well, Z's survives that encounter, but he's not really got as good a combat stats right now. Pickaxe not quite as strong as Phage. And Chrisland and Edward going to feel good now in this bot lane. It looked rough at the very, very start, but now they're looking happy. Sightstone, though, is in for Zaitan. Nick might have to be careful. Burns the exhaust against this Zed, and he's going to stay just safe. Exhaust for ulti.
He's perfectly fine with that too. We saw Diamond actually starting to come down from the mid lane because he has level 6 on Nick. He's ready to set him up.
Nick is going to be ready for that one. The Fox will not have an ult to dodge these spells with. Could be a very big risk. Blue buff does go to Diamond. He's level 6 now. That's 7. Nick getting some damage and trying to set up for his own kill. Diamond, though, on a ward on his way over.
Diamond causing pressure, checking the jungle now.
I like that ward. It still does not prevent Kikis from getting in. He can always lane gank down the mid lane, and you can't look for that on Nocturne. But it does mean he has to pre-plan that counter gank as opposed to sort of get it as an adaptation.
I like how Edward capitalized the W in his name. As a support, he is Ed Ward.
Yes. Oh. Flash in. That's going to be enough. That's it. Ooh. Nicely done, Fox.
Distracted by the name. So, like I was saying, the matchup here between these two is skill-oriented, but there is still...
Huh. That's unusual.
You just can't keep him down.
He's dead, but he's got his dignity. He stands strong. Get ready. He's going to disappear. Where'd he go? He's in the fountain.
Oh. Got him.
Got him. Smitty J, top lane. Cast some spells. Kuban, though, not really losing health. Wow, there's actually a 20 minion lead up here. We haven't been watching him very much, but Smitty J is doing really nicely in this top lane.
He also has Nocturne there. They're going for it.
There they go for
no
Kuban.
Flash.
Rune Prison on exactly. No flash there. There's the fear. Few more spells to go. Can they reach him, though? The Q knockback. Oh, Diamond shows up. Can he kill Smitty J? The answer is yes. Diamond trades back.
Diamond pulls one of those controlled jungle counter ganks and ends up going even in the kills there. And now it's just going to be the junglers becoming top laners temporarily.
Well, looks like wave clear. Good for Kikis, though. Diamond is going for the same ancient golem build we saw Airwalks do yesterday, so still there for the utility, there to be a tank. I think that's actually a good build for the junglers. Looks like Nick is just going to hold his mid lane, though, safely, but he's now getting hit up pretty hard by Fox. Also keep in mind that when those kills went up in the top lane, Smitty got the kill, whereas Kuban only got the assist, so this top lane's actually even worse than it was before. For Gambit.
The Rise bullying, just throwing out so many Qs. It's very frustrating lane to deal with. And Fox, he's going to go all in on Nick again.
There's no exhaust, there's no flash. Can he get the damage down? He's got to jump back soon. Fox, whew.
It's not over just yet, though.
Diamond has flash, he can kill him.
Fox has
W's up.
Big Shadow.
Okay. He's safe, Diamond's all right. Kikis is going to throw a Q, but not too much earned. Bottom though, Zaitan really wants to fight this, lands the bubble onto Krislin. No Nocturne ulti, but some decent damage with the culling. Doesn't quite land his last few pellets.
Instead, Kikis, he's actually going to go check the wraiths, make sure Diamond isn't there, but also pick them up for himself.
Yeah. And Nick is super low. He's got the exhaust back. Diamond goes in, there's the knockup. Goodbye. Oh my god! What the Fox takes down Nick? What?
It's that passive.
Yeah.
Contempt for the weak.
Well, that dealt tons of damage.
That was just so brutal. We thought he was going to die before he hit the floor, but nope. Claws you in the face as he's going down.
Nick could have exhausted that. He just didn't think it would happen.
Yep, he had the exhaust still available. Yeah, they thought he was
the
going to
shield
drop.
too.
Boom. Hit him.
Wow.
Ease him. And he drops. Wow.
Yep. Good dash by Z's, though. They're going to stay alive. So, SK Prime up 200 gold. Basically a tied game here. No dragons attempted. It's all the laning phase. And right now, it's basically top lane winning, mid lane barely winning. And what SKP have as their advantage. But we have seen Krislin and Edward do great in this 2-on-2. The new player for Gambit. Krislin so far working fine.
Yeah, Krislin has been doing a really good job in this bot lane. Up against Z's, he's one of the premier lane bullies in the Challenger Series. So Krislin's having a good debut as the Gambit bot lane. And he's done a pretty good job of synergizing with Edward, too. I feel like the aggressive playstyle is playing more in more into what he likes. And Diamond, looking for another visit here. He'll have the cask in a couple of seconds. WTFox, oh, he went aggressive!
Tries to dodge it, ulties away from the barrel. Exhaust is on WTFox, so he's trying to pull them away from the shadow. Jumps on back, now in towards Nick. Good damage coming down. Diamond is ignited, forced to flash away, does dodge the fear. But that is still SKP pulling out another kill in the mid lane.
Diamond threw his ultimate at Kikis, and I believe it was spell shielded because he didn't go anywhere, and WTFox didn't eat it either.
Nope.
And Nick didn't have an opportunity to use his ultimate there.
Beautiful stuff. Edward now on the roam around. He's going to say, hey, a pink ward. Ooh, piece of candy.
Watch this again. Goes in onto Nick. Nocturne ulti comes in here. He looked to get his Steel Tempest, but boom, right there. Hit nobody. I believe Kikis might not have even been in the fight completely yet by the time that made contact with the ground.
No, he was definitely there doing battle. He was starting the fear tether already.
He spell shielded it or completely missed.
Definitely spell shielded. Definitely spell shielded.
So quickly.
The thing is, I don't know if he was necessarily predicting the knockback barrel specifically.
Yeah, probably.
It was basically, I'm starting the fear tether, so if I spell shield, you can't push me away from it in general. And it was basically predicting a situation where he's going to be knocked back, and that was the case.
That's pretty much what you do with Nocturne.
Yeah, but it was very solid, though. Very, very smart play. Now, Smitty getting jumped on Kuban in a pretty darn good trade there. Smitty J down to 500 health.
Yeah, Kuban is going to get a level up fairly shortly, as well as Smitty, so they're going to have that Catalyst ticking away for even more HP and mana. So they'll be just sitting pretty in this lane.
Regen making him happy. There's the level up on Kuban. Tons of mana and health for him. 1,400 health. Smitty up. Again, 20 CS. Seems to be holding pretty standard or stagnant at this point. Just stacking up on his tier and Catalyst.
Diamond's been making a lot of moves. But at the same time, Nick is 0-3 to the 3-1 of WTFox. Look at the timing of Gambit. This happens a lot. When SKP is going for their opposite buff with the blue buff, they go for the dragon and they pick it up. I've seen that multiple times here where they're trying to pass it off to WTFox.
Oh, beautifully done there. Gambit, the first dragon of the game, puts them up 600 gold so far. They're also sweeping away a lot of pink wards. This is their second in about 45 seconds. So SKP struggling a little bit with vision now because of Gambit's good play. Gambit definitely much better warding on this map.
Yeah, another thing about that dragon too is they knew their power spikes because Chrislin has his Trinity Force and Z's just has some pieces of the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, he's got some
bonus AD.
Wow! Down he goes. Great hook by Eddie. Everything going down perfect there by Gambit.
The Trinity Force power spike of the Corki, you have to respect it because he's much stronger than Z's at this point in the game. Even when Z's gets his Infinity Edge, we're still going to have a stronger Chrislin.
So the wave clear only means so much by Z's. Gets with the cannon, but this is going to be still a lot of turret damage and a lot of missed caster minion kills. He's going to get 2 of them.
At the same time, Kikis is going for a very offensive build here on the Nocturne. Hexdrinker immediately after. Here's the thing though. Hexdrinker is only good against the Corki, Maokai, a little bit against that Gragas, but he's not going to be doing a whole bunch of AP damage.
Yeah.
Going for the tanky build.
Hook! Oh, wow. Eddie's been on that side of the brush a lot. Uh-oh, he's still got to be careful though. The flay could work. Smitty also now surrounded. Good barrel. Walks south. He's got a friend though. Now at the bot lane though, Chrislin can carry this fight though with the Triforce. Jumps in. Hook's not going to land, but there's actually a great, great, great Lantern.
Is that like the Lantern's far removed parent?
Yep.
The great, great, great Lantern.
It's actually the ancestors of light bulbs.
Ooh. Oh, he comes back in!
Ulti pop, but there's the knockback, plus the exhaust, but here comes Nocturne. Is it enough? Fear Tether flashed away from by Nick. They're just going to trade spells.
It's those mid lane 2v2s. This is such a mid and jungle-oriented matchup between these two teams, and they're trying to wrestle control from each other there. And right now, it's going in favor of WTFox, and Gambit are trying everything they can, because if they just leave it alone, Diamond goes somewhere else, it's going to tilt still in SKP's favor.
Bot lane fight again. Z's really wants Edward, but the teleport's coming in. This is not happy for SK Prime. Where's Spinny J? He's just pushing. Good flash by Z's, and you know what? Spinny J not required.
That was a flash flay from Edward. Those were instantaneous flashes right alongside each other.
Beautiful stuff then by Z's to keep himself alive. Clears away some of the minions, and look at this. Free time for Smitty J in the top lane to push down waves. The turret's already gone. And heck, well done by the SKP bot lane.
The fact they were able to get out of that matchup, but even pressure this Corki when Crystalline is definitely ahead with Smitty.
Oh no, Smitty J gonna get knocked up, gonna get hit up by Diamond as well. The body slam keeps Diamond in a good spot, but look at this, Baron Nashor is suddenly angry. Diamond forced to flash away.
Now he's confused because his food just went over a wall.
I suppose Australians have that problem. Kangaroos just, they got hops.
Kangaroos are food?
Why not?
Food gets over a wall. Okay. Let's ask Atlas and Spawn later on.
They'll be up next series.
Just tweet them. Do you guys eat kangaroos?
You got to do it in the vernacular. They're called roos.
No. They'd understand. It's the colloquialism.
Yeah. They don't have shrimp. They have prawns, for example.
Yeah, they got pretty
prawns
mad.
in the Barbie.
Like, they got mad when I said shrimp. He's like, I don't even know what a shrimp is. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, mid lane actually being sieged up fairly well by What2Fox. He's really not leaving the lane. To be fair, like, the 2-1-2s are working, so, like, keep creating pressure there. Nick his ulti's back up soon. But we're not seeing a lot of mid lane roam. It's kind of like junglers do things in one of the various lanes, kind of over and over and over again.
But mostly they just want to focus on this mid lane. They want to tilt it, they want to get that Yasuo going. They also want to free up What2Fox, but it's just not happening. He's just winning this matchup by himself because he's further ahead now. Like, he's able to definitely 1v1 Nick, but he can't leave that lane just yet. He wants to get that turret at some point and then start roaming bottom and tilt this matchup. Because this bottom lane is definitely like hitting your head against a concrete wall for both sides.
Yeah. They're trying really hard to get the way in. Just really good escapes on both sides, good plays kind of everywhere.
Yeah, there is slight advantage here for Gambit Gaming. Edward is applying a lot of pressure, and Crystalline does have an advantage in terms of his items in gold. But overall, it's just clear wave, push back, clear wave, push back.
Clearing the minions, etc.
Yep. It just happens over and over again here. This mid lane is going to be where the junglers are focusing their attention. Diamond did put some pressure in that bot lane to tilt it. He's kind of left it alone, but it's not going to make any fruits just by itself.
Yeah. So we're going to see then. Gambit, what else can they do here? 400 gold lead. Dragon up in 35 seconds. I feel like it's the team with the control. Just a little bit.
We see Smitty J making a movement towards the mid lane here. He has not been spotted out by a ward just yet. Kikis is going to clear this out. And it looks like Nick is the focus. There are 3 people behind him. Smitty J knows that he's safe. He doesn't have his flash, though.
Yeah, that's big.
They're going to go straight
pop
in.
There, and in comes Doctrine. Fear Tether is going to land. The Rune Prison locks him up as well. What2Fox gets the kill, and Dragon's up in 7 seconds.
Exactly. They're going to go straight for this Dragon. Smitty J making the call. He's coming down. Gets the gank right on time. This is exactly what you need to do, is get an objective after the kill. And Zaitan, oh, it might be a counter kill.
Gambit could make this happen. Zaitan has 12 health right now, and he's going to go down 1-for-0 in the bot lane. Great job, Edward.
They just didn't show up to the Dragon. Instead, they pressured the lane, and that left them vulnerable. But here goes Kuban.
This is dangerous. 4v4. In comes Diamond. Looks for something here. Double kill already for Crystalline. Kuban tanky in the front lines. What2Fox has almost nowhere to go. Body slam, flay. The flash means nothing, but he hops the wall with the shadow. He might live. Smitty J, however, will not. Kuban gets another kill. What2Fox still on the run, but can he go anywhere at all? Looks like no. Crystalline gets his 3rd kill of the fight.
Crystalline is definitely showing that he is a great pickup here on AD carry for Gambit Gaming. Going 5-0-1. They get a kill in the bottom lane off of Edward's hook, and now they transition all of that over to the Baron.
All right, well, Kikis does have his smite up. He does have flash as well. The recipe for a steal is there.
Gambit are doing everything they can to prevent that. They have so much ward coverage here.
Half HP on this ward, gets spotted and swept. Kikis could blind flash, or he could get help from Nami. There's the jump in. Crystalline wants this fight. Kikis flashes away, though. Bubble lands on a Nick. Now there is no chance for the steal. No ulti yet for Kikis. This will be going to Gambit. Good play down the line. The culling might not do too much, but Smitty J wants this. They're gonna try. They go in for Nick. He's at a half HP. They get the knock on to 3. This could be big. Very gigantic, actually. Nothing picked up so far. Flash away. Nick stays alive too. They kill Smitty J. Not much else found. But now Zaitan has nowhere to go.
Ooh, Gambit didn't lose a single person in that exchange, and now they're on the chase on Disease.
What the Fox is around. Rock, hook, Shadow. Shuriken, body slam. Barrel over the wall. Oh, that's a relentless pursuit. Which is really very fitting for what's happening here.
Minion.
Diamond's out of mana. Turret.
Body slam.
Shot.
Man, this is minimalist casting.
This is radio casting. Nick there goes in, gets the knockup. Oh, wow, dodged by one and spell shielded by the other. I take it back. Nick goes down. Beautiful play by SK Prime.
Kuban shows
but now
up.
Kuban does show up with the teleport, the ulti, the tidal wave there as well. But here comes Edward, here comes Diamond. Kickus not happy any longer. Gets rooted in place. The bubble not going to matter. He's still trying to run. He actually just might. There's no mana left on Diamond. And he gets out. Now Zaitan's here. The Flash Rune Prison. In they go. Two-man knockup. Kuban does not have his ulti anymore. But here comes that gigantic Corki. Gets his 7th kill of the game. Smitty J is about to be smitten as Chrisland will take him down. Edward gets the kill credit. What the Fox also gonna die to Kuban. And Gambit go massive.
It's a series of unfortunate events that SKP kept forcing the issue on Gambit, and they just accelerated them to about a 3.5 thousand gold lead here. 6 kills down, the 23.5-minute mark. And the flash. Oh, he got him!
Edward proves he can, Mad Life people. And Chrisland picks up his 8th.
That prediction by the Thresh Prince.
Yup.
Coming up really big there, getting himself another kill. SKP just keep playing into the hands of Gambit over and over and over again the last 5 minutes.
So both members of the bot lane of Gambit have the highest kill participation on the game. They are completely dominating now.
Yeah, thought it was going to be on the mid lane here. Thought it was going to be on Nick, this guy. He is 0-5 at this moment. There's no... Like, they're setting him up to be a threat, but he's Yasuo. He will eventually scale. Right now, though, it's Chrisland on that gigantic Corki, who isn't even part of this fight. So SKP, they started off, they get the double bubble here after killing Nick, and now Kickus is trying to get away. They'll eventually trail off, and then What the Fox will start coming back, because we see the ultimate pop by Smitty J, the flash, and then he's trying to take down this tanky Gragas, and now Chrisland is here. Chunk, there goes Zaitan. Yes, continues to auto-attack Smitty J down, and he cleans it up. So Chrisland is just being a huge beast right now.
Yeah, that was actually missed by SKP. They had no damage there. Z's was nowhere to be seen in that fight, and Ryze just doesn't break down tanks that fast. Chrisland showed up in time, and it was great. Triforce, Eye Edge now, Sword Shoes as well. He's just gigantic. Z's will almost never catch up this game.
Really relying on What the Fox to press the advantage that he created in the mid lane for himself and try to assassinate somebody. I don't know if he can blow up Chrisland 100-0, but that's what they have to do here. He's almost at that level 16 point.
If Nick doesn't have exhaust, What the Fox, I think, can one-shot Chrisland. That is I think that is a requirement for SKP.
Go for it.
There's the lantern over the wall, chasing on towards Z's. He's very isolated, and he's going to be going down rather quickly. In comes the fight, and it's just everyone from the bottom lane going down of SK Prime. Nothing done.
Edward setting up his team for success, being this big facilitator that they needed in the bot lane. They're going to go after Smitty.
Wow, Smitty also picked off. This is falling apart now for SK Prime. You're seeing mid-tier 2 under fire. Gambit might just be taking that 3-game streak and coming back into the LCS.
You can see Smitty there on the camera, putting his hand to his head, going, I didn't even know why I was there.
Well, quick pause for anticipation here. Gambit Gaming. Still, though, right in front of the base. Up 3 turrets. They're in very much control right now. Looks like a quick issue for Nick right here. Let's see what that ends up being.
Saying the issue is I'm 1-5.
Yeah. We're winning by so much. How am I 1-5 this game?
I've been being camped. It's not good.
Well, thankfully, Camp Chrisland is going quite well. That bot lane down there has been wonderful. Edward, you can't give him enough praise. He's been amazing. 1-0-12. Made this bot lane happen. Chrisland obviously also has been amazing. 9-0-4. Like, just capitalizing off of absolutely everything. And we've kind of had every player sort of get their turn to carry Gambit, sort of. We had Kuban basically be the only high damage source in team fights, did great. We had the Diamond Nick combo just kind of carrying the early games over and over again. This one, it's all about Edward and Krislin just making it happen.
I think Krislin's keeping his face warm there. The hand warmers. I mean, Edward.
That's not what those are for.
Edward's in the way right now, but
He's a cold nose.
yeah, gotta keep warm. Make sure his eyes, no fatigue.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? He's playing Corki, and I don't believe like the goggles cover his nose. So when he's flying around with wind in his face, his nose has got to get cold.
Your nose starts running when you go at high speeds like that, yeah. But, man, he just looked like he was chilling. He just popped his chair back a little bit. He's like, all right, we're in here for, oh, nope, we're getting back into the game. He actually made a tweet previously. You were talking about how everybody's kind of taking their turn to carry Gambit. His tweet was, I just got carried last game. Thanks, Gambit. So now he's returning the favor, 9-0-4 on that Corki, going Infinity Edge, second item. And I know you're a fan of that.
Yes, I am.
Freak is pretty much the godfather of
Those are my 2 favorite AD carry items.
Infinity Edge
Kind
and
of.
Trinity Force
Of
together.
course. Yes, those are the 2 best items in the game. Yeah, so it's the right build. I think Corki will continue to scale up, right? He's not going to have any sort of plateau here in his build. He's going to keep going up in damage, and realistically, this could be over the next minute or two because Gambit now pushing in for the middle inhibitor. They've won fight after fight after fight. Their bot lane is gigantic, and SK Prime have not found a way in despite winning mid lane.
Edward had some great hooks over the wall over and over again and very aggressive plays to make it, just make a play happen so that he can set his team up to get back into the LCS off of his back on this game.
Here we go, bot lane under fire, mid lane inhibitor already gone, and bot tier 2 will fall quickly. There's a big minion wave top side that SK Prime could theoretically use, but no one's around. The hook on Smitty, there's the ulti on in. Ryze gonna be in a bad spot, but he's staying alive with the spell vamp. Did Gambit overextend? We've got to see Kuban running away from the turret. There is the kill picked up on the biggest member of Gambit, and Kuban now stuck out of the turret as well, but the hook from Eddie will knock one back. Z stays alive, Kuban goes down, 3 for 1. Nice Lantern keeps Edward safe.
Oh, he's got the movement speed.
Kickus, though, yes, is on the chase, does not block anything there. But that is still a 3 for 1 SK Prime. They've got to make up an 8,000 gold deficit.
They threw so much at Smitty J, and he lived until the Thresh hook at the very end. The amount of resources they threw at him, and the fact that they took it off a single-person knockup. When Diamond had a multi-person barrel right afterwards. It's one of those things with the Yasuo ultimate, once it's blown on one person, and then you see these opportune knockups afterwards, kind of like, I should have saved it. The hook comes in. They end up going on Smitty J. But watch this. Diamond, boom. Hits about 3-4 people with that one. Then, great job by What the Fox here. He's focusing down Krislin. Krislin pops away, pop, and he's gone. Oh, Zaitan, though, speaking of being gone.
He's not in the best spot right now. Pretty isolated. No one's helping him. Missed the bubble, unfortunately, but Kuban will be working.
He's like, let me move.
Spams the recall for good measure. Make sure Krislin gets an assist marker, and it gives him the kill.
Apparently, that was a Maokai home guard TP.
Oh,
Closed
man.
that distance. Kuban, he wasn't messing around. He's like, I want to get this fish, and he didn't let her move at all.
Nope. So, that was well done. Now, one thing I want to point out about Smitty here, actually, is he went for Ninja Tabby. I've seen a lot of Sork choose Ryze. I actually think Tank Boots on Ryze is the proper build because uptime is more important than Magic Pen. And from what I've seen, it's seemed to reinforce that from all the games of Ryze I've seen in competitive.
Start muscling down this turret. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And look at that, Smitty J, speaking of uptime.
Ooh, 2-man knockback. So that is a couple ultis now down for Gambit, though. The respawn is here. Zaitan's back.
That's going to be a Zeke's Herald for Edward as well. Trying to power up his allies, trying to get Nick some extra combat stats, and also get Krislin even further ahead off of it.
Diamond backing off, just doing the wave clear. So far, honestly, Gambit staying safe. Also, Sunfire for Diamond. I'm not used to seeing that item out of the jungle, but interesting choice. Should work for him just fine. And Gambit pulls Kuban in with Edward's Lantern, and Gambit, they were up 8,000. It'll be more like 9.5 now. There we go, 265 gold per member of Gambit Gaming.
What's really crazy, too, is Kickus hasn't died this game. He's 007 right now. He's been farming the jungle, trying to get his Feral Flare up, and as powerful as he possibly can, sitting on 17 stacks. His ultimates have been good, and he escapes at the same time.
He's had a golden eye for those ganks.
Yeah, he really has. The fact that he has a lot of kill participation on his team speaks a lot about what he's contributed to this game, as opposed to the last game, where his Fizz was just farming.
Yeah, and I do like that he will continue to scale. He's farming quite nicely on the Feral Flare, and he didn't spend too much time building damage, so I think he will remain tanky enough to be useful in fights. But there's still a long road ahead for SKP. They've got to somehow weather a giant gold deficit and continual siege by Gambit. So far, it hasn't been great.
They're going for the Baron right now, and WTFox is bottom.
I think this is ideal, though, for SKP, just to get a couple of turrets back, get some gold, get the waves under control. They can even maybe get mid-tier 2. They're definitely going to get bought off of Rise. They're going to pressure towards the inhibitor, actually. It's going to force Gambit to SKP's pace.
Exactly, that's going to be 2 turrets for the Baron.
That's actually an equal gold pickup. Now, the buff, of course, is rather useful. The experience as well is nice. But gold-wise, the game didn't move anywhere. 8,500 gold still. Smitty recalls on a ward. He will be safe, though, because Gambit are going in for these open inhibitors. This has to be defended.
They have to come back to this. WTFox already standing by. He has a red potion popped. Looking to blow up Kristen. Kristen a little more defensive with that Bloodthirster build. Typical Corki build now. But now he has more defensive options.
So there is an exhaust up, though, for Nick now. This is important because it means that he can keep WTFox from killing Krislin. I think Krislin is still mandatory for Gambit to win any fights. The inhibitor going down, not too big of a deal, but Gambit will have to kill another inhibitor turret soon. There's the ulti, and Edward just goes down. He was way out of position.
Yeah. This is really big because there is a big assassin, WTFox, on the side of SKP. All of your damage, the majority of your damage, is going to be coming from Krislin. It's a tanky Gragas. It's a tanky Maokai. It's a Yasuo that hasn't hit his 100% crit power spike at 32 minutes. And he's still got a couple minutes to go. The only real damage dealer is that 10-1 and 5 Corki with the highest CS in the game. Blow him up with a Zed, then you're good to go. Krislin, he needs to get his QSS ASAP.
That's the thing, though, is WTFox as well kind of needs one. He's going, though, for the Guardian Angel instead, but he could remove Exhaust with QSS and allow himself to just completely crush Krislin. Now, Gambit looking for some pressure in a 3v5 here. They've actually got Yasuo defending on the right side of the map, but no engage for SKP.
They aren't even looking for it either. They don't have the ward coverage to really exit their base. They're just trying to clear off these wards, trying to wait for the fight to come to them. There's no Baron, there's no Dragon, there's really nothing for them to do. So they're just sitting on these waves, trying to ward up their own jungle and wait for Gambit to come back to them.
All right, well, let's see what we have here then. Edward back on ward duty again. Got caught last time for it, but Sweeper active and wards coming down. Continue to try to buy as much armor and health as possible. Has a chain vest in the inventory. Plus part of Mikhail's Crucible, I think, so... Not sure what he's going for.
Both of these teams have had their back and forths in this series. Diamond had some bad games. He's had some great games. Nick had some great games. Now he's not having a great game. It's been back and forth on Gambit's side. SKP's side, same story. This game, both teams are looking in good shape. Kikis is having a great game for himself. WTFox in the mid lane, same story. One team fight. This next team fight could mean Gambit are back into the LCS if they win it.
And they're looking like it, man. They're up 8,000 gold. They've still got Baron buff for another minute here. They're looking to siege the bottom lane. Kuban is a massive tank right now. There's the hook on Kikis. This is not good for the Nocturne. Forced to flash away. There's a tide away, but look at that. The wind wall from Nick stops it all. Hook. Ooh, knockback as well. SKP losing so much health. Gambit only burning a couple of cooldowns for that. And now they're in on inhibitor number 2. Plus, minions flood into the mid lane. This could be the game-winning push. They are still moving forwards. Can Gambit do it, or can SKP hold on and turn it around? Lantern pulls Kuban back. So far, so good.
WTFox getting chunked out. He's going to have to make a visit to the base very quickly. Gambit are 1 inhibitor and 3 turrets away from being back in the LCS. It's Smitty J.
Whoa! All right. And they're going to go, and backdoor looks like the top lane, tier 2.
4 turrets.
All right. There we
Now
go.
3.
Now 3.
Now 3 turrets away from being back into the LCS for Gambit Gaming.
Absolutely. Now can they make that happen? Looks like they're actually going to slow it down once again. Baron buff is timing off them here. So there's no immediate impetus, but they do have super minions flooding in now from the bottom and mid lanes. That is a very good resource to use if you want to close a game out.
These hooks from Edward to set up his team have been really, really good all game long. The ones down bottom, the ones over the wall by bottom tier 2. He has been showing why that champion is a signature champion. He's called the Thresh Prince. But right now, he wants to be back into the LCS with his team and with a new AD carry at his side. Again, just taking a break, and here comes Kuban teleporting to a ward at the bottom. He does have home guard.
Oh, the flashing
He's
game,
gonna run
they
straight
don't
in.
follow it up. Now they go in, they hook onto Smitty J, they flame into the team, he's in the back lines, they look for Krislin. Krislin is going to die here. Now what else can they do? Kuban in the front line, but down goes the Rise. 4v4, Kuban tanky in the front, Watt the Fox is gonna go down. Numbers lead for Gambit, hook on Zaitan, they don't need him though. They go for the middle inhibitor instead. So far, so good. Gambit have minions. They have super minions, especially on the bottom side. 3-man defense.
On the hook!
Hit Z's! Down he goes! This could be the game. Gambit flooding in. Turret number 1, turret number 2. Nexus is going to be open. And after losing game 1 in heartbreaking fashion, Gambit paved their way back in to the European LCS.
Saw that bot lane there, giving each other a hug after that. The synergy is real. Krislin and Edward.
Yep. A gigantic sigh of relief from Eddie as well. You saw it very just like, oh my gosh. Okay, we did it. Game 1 scared us, but they were in control the rest of the series. SK Prime, they said they actually didn't feel that good in this match. I talked to Smitty real quick. He's getting makeup, and he says, you know, we didn't really come in, and I don't think we're really that well prepared, so he said he actually expected to lose. Game 1 said, well, you know what? Maybe you can. I don't know if it was false hope or what, but SK Prime could not pull it through. Game 1 was the only game they won. At the very least, we'll see these guys in the Challenger season again next year, but it will be Gambit in the LCS.
You saw that smile back there. That's the newest face, the European LCS.
Yeah, it is. Krislin, congratulations. You are the first new player to re-qualify for the LCS in 2015. We have a chance for 15 more, though. 3 more best of 5s throughout the weekend, plus another one today. That'll be fun as well. But Gambit, and what can you say about them? They had fallen so hard.
Yeah.
In the end of that split, they had this gigantic losing streak, kind of clawed their way back during Super Week. They got the tiebreaker win over Copenhagen Wolves with, you know, the right to sort of pick their opponent a little bit here. And then it looked even worse. They lost their first game here against a team that, you know, wasn't necessarily going to get a lot of respect there in SK Prime, but they finally turned it back. The right members started putting up performances. The bot lane, especially Edward and Krislin, I can't give them enough praise.
Yeah. They
made that game 4 happen.
Yeah, Krislin had a really good showing, but Edward set all of that up as the biggest facilitator I have seen in these last couple of days here. Because all those hooks and then roaming around and starting the fights off, the initiation, the playmaking that you expect out of a top-tier support. It's good to have him back in the ULCS.
Yeah, Edward's great. He's awesome. And I know there's a lot of Gambit fans out there. It's kind of the same thing with CLG, where they were slumping. There was a real risk they're going to lose out to the Challenger team, despite being the favorites in the match. But the fans out there were strong for them. The cheers, you can hear them here, strong for Gambit as well. You saw a couple hugs back and forth from the players. But yeah, I mean, Gambit is a team that a lot of people wouldn't imagine ever being gone from the LCS. They were so dominant for so darn long.
You kind of sit there and you're like, an LCS without Gambit or an LCS without CLG, like that doesn't sit right with you. And you know, the teams, thankfully, for their fans' sake, requalified.
But it also does speak to the strengths of the Challenger season, of course, right? That you have these teams that are such stalwarts and such big names. You're like, look, the upstarts can still make it happen. Guys you've never seen play in the LCS before. And it's like, well, you know what? We've actually all got the individual skill to hold up. We've got some good strategies there. Curse Academy nearly brought it out to a 3-0, right? Game 1 won here by SK Prime as well. Like, these are certainly good players. These are certainly good teams. Teams I still want to see more of. There's still the road ahead of them if they want to try again next year as well. It won't be spring 2015. Actually, it might be, of course, expansion tournament. That actually might be the case here. I keep forgetting about that for some reason. I don't know why.
It's pretty big, Freak.
It's kind of a big deal. There's 2 more spots in the LCS up for grabs, of course. Curse Academy, SK Prime. Going to be teams joining their respective regions in that place. And I do want to see how that keeps going, right? H2K as well, the third team going to be in the expansion tournament as well. Those teams can't stop for too long. They've got to keep going because it's not too far away from them having the chance at getting their way into the LCS anyway. And being one of those 10 teams in the LCS, we'll see if that ends up being their future here. But for now, we're going to send it over to Dash for a word with our winners.
Thanks, gentlemen. I want to welcome Gambit's Diamond and Nick to the desk after a 3-1 victory there, securing your spot back into the LCS. Diamond, how does that feel?
It feels great, even though I'm not satisfied with my place in those games because I made too much mistakes in my opinion, but it's really great to feel that like you're in a LCS again. I love LCS.
Yeah, exactly. And Nick, my question to you more specifically is about the fact that you guys did start down 0-1 in the series. So what were the discussions like within the team to kind of get the morale back and turn it around to go on a great 3-0 streak after that?
We knew that we are a better team, so we just realized our mistakes, pointed them out, tried to like get the actually ban Orianna from our enemies because it's super safe champion, and keep going as better team.
And then Diamond, given that the team went through a lot of roster changes throughout the season, you know, how did that affect your ability to coordinate with your teammates to get to this point where you guys were comfortable with working as a team, showcasing that you are of LCS caliber and you do deserve to have that spot?
It was really hard to change teammates that often because like you have some strategies with your current teammates and then the teammate changes and you need to work even more to get used to the new teammates. But we worked out like really much. We were practicing the whole like more than a month after we lost like our matches in the LCS, and now we're pretty strong. We showed that we're worth to be in the LCS, and now we're ready to get our like maybe first or second spot in the next split.
I like to hear that. Nick, you specifically, to look at your champion pool, you seem to favor the Assassins, playing Zed twice, Ahri, and Yasuo. So what is it about that? Because we do have a lot of mid laners who will fall onto Orianna and Ziggs and the more farm-heavy champions. What is it about Assassins that you like so much?
Like, I think Assassins are just very strong in this meta game because they are making you under the enemy under the pressure that every time he does mistake he can get insta killed, and it is very good just for the LAN games, I think. And for the regular LCS it's not so good. I specifically tried to get the Assassins here.
And you mentioned the meta, Diamond. In that first game, you guys saw the Fizz jungle get picked. Is that something that you expected him to pick up? And then how did that affect the first game? And then he even picked it up a second time.
Well, I knew that it was like about to come when they picked it. I was like thinking about, is it mid or is it jungle? Because my teammates say that he can't play jungle Fizz and he played it a lot, but I didn't trust them because like, why the hell would someone play Fizz jungle? But it worked out for him pretty good because I didn't know the limits of Fizz, and I didn't know that that I can just move everywhere and take fights with him and I will be stronger. But after that match, I realized that, and in the second game, like there was no chance for Fizz to win.
I was about to say, you seem to react to it pretty well when he brought it out the second time. You guys were able to counter it quite easily. Now let's look ahead to next year's split. Nick, what are the changes that you're looking to make within the team? How are you hoping to grow, like specifically?
I think right now we are at the better team skill-wise than we have ever before been this split. So we should just keep as it is and train even more.
And then Diamond, finally, as this has been a long 2014 season and it's finally coming to a close, I want to give you the opportunity to say anything to your fans and the viewers at home and things like that.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for cheering for us. Sorry for disappointing you with such like bad results, in my opinion. But at least we got back to the LCS as you wished, and we were trying our best really for the past month and a half. And now we're going to work much harder because we know our mistakes that we didn't practice that much in the previous LCS season. We will fix them. We will come out stronger, and I hope we will beat everyone in the new LCS. But right now, guys, I wish you like a good World Championship. Watch it, cheer for someone. I don't know. I will do it as well. I will cheer for Europeans, of course. And thank you very much, especially fans.
Looking to improve. That's all anyone can ask. Well, gentlemen, I want to congratulate you again on your victory here and requalifying for the LCS. We are going to send it back over to Freak and Zyrene, though.
Thank you very much, Dash. I actually really liked that interview. So Nick's saying this is the strongest Gambit's ever been individually, and that they're only just going to get better from here. He wants to keep the team as it is. So, Chrisland.
Yeah, man. And I also like the fact that he was talking about how he's playing Assassin to pressure people on land.
Yeah.
And then we saw Diamond wearing his All-Star jacket.
Yep.
He looked good. He's got to feel good, too.
And he was wearing it, too, man. And he said, you know, we're going to go for the top two. We're going to try to get ourselves back to the Gambit that the fans know and love. And, dude, it'd be fun to see Gambit at Worlds again. I'd be happy with that one, but we'll see if they can do it. So with Gambit's win, they hold on to their spot in the European LCS for the upcoming spring split. They join the Copenhagen Wolves, who secured their return after defeating H2K. But there's still one more spot up for grabs in Europe and will be decided tomorrow when Millennium take on the Unicorns of Love. And, of course, we've still got more action coming, though. Our second best-of-5 battle of the day is coming up. Evil Geniuses versus Team Coast is going to determine which team advances to the North American LCS. So while the teams load onto the stage, we're going to go and pop away for a quick break. But the Spring Promotion Tournament returns after this. He's got the exhaust back. Diamond goes in. There's the knockup. Goodbye. Oh, my God!
And that left them vulnerable, but here goes Kuban.
This is dangerous. 4v4. In comes Diamond. Looks for something here. Double kill already for Chrisland.
No, we can fight this.
Coming. Nice.
Lucha.
Nice. Kill it.
Nice. Good job.
Hit him hard. And the flash. Oh, he got him!
Oh, Edwin proves he can, Mad Life people. Running away from the turret. There is the kill picked up on the biggest member of Gambit. And Kuban now stuck under the turret as well. But the hook from Eddie will knock one back. Gambit paved their way back in to the European LCS.